So, to hide or not to hide?
Yes, it's a $1 million question, isn't it, to many parents?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So today we're going to discuss the advantages and the disadvantages of hiding food, why you might consider hiding foods and how to avoid having to do it forever.
Yeah.
There are definitely short-term advantages and long-term disadvantages to hiding food. So here are our thoughts on the great debate.
Yeah, so look, hiding food to correct nutritional deficiency, I feel, is probably the overwhelming advantage. Nutritional deficiencies, which are very common often in picky eaters, unfortunately, affects a child's desire and palate for food. So it's a bit of a vicious circle. When a child is fussy because they've developed a nutritional deficiency, because they're not eating, great quality food, or they have really poor dietary variety, hiding as much nourishment as possible can just go a really long way to correcting the nutritional deficiency and reinstating a desire to eat whole foods. Many adults will recognise, you'll probably know yourself listening to this, that the better you eat, the more you actually want to eat better. And the same goes for kids.
Yeah, totally.
So this is definitely the overwhelming advantage of hiding foods, but unfortunately it's just not a long-term solution.
Yeah. You want your kids to know what food is.
Absolutely, yeah.
So hiding food is all well and good when they're little. However, that you won't be able to hide avocado in their smoothie or zucchini in their pasta sauce when they're beyond 12, really, totally. I think. Yeah. So whilst hiding food can promote better nutrition and therefore more desire for healthy foods, you're teaching kids nothing about the importance of eating whole, real foods.
Yeah, and look, I tend to look at including, for example, grated pureed vegetables in a meal as boosting the nutritional potential and perhaps the flavour and texture of the meal rather than hiding it. But for today's sake and for argument's sake, I think in this podcast, we're going to call it hiding, although, I would prefer to say boosting, but you all understand what we mean when we say hiding, so we'll stick with that.
Yeah. Cool. Like grating veggies in the bolognese and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So let's now talk about how to hide and at the same time develop a love of whole foods. As well as hiding food, there are a few important things I'd strongly encourage you to consider. Firstly, you might have a number of veggies hidden in that bolognese, but I'd strongly encourage you to also present them or other veggies on the same plate in their whole or recognisable form. So the purpose of this is if you don't serve obvious veggies, you're ultimately saying that it's okay to eat a meal without veggies. And this definitely doesn't serve them well in creating healthy eating habits for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Hiding food is so good for establishing peace of mind, your own peace of mind that they're actually deriving more goodness than they realise from what you've served them for dinner or for a meal or snack. So that even if they don't touch the whole forms that you've also presented, you feel a whole lot better about letting it go without any stress or fuss or feeling like you need to keep offering them something else to eat.
Yeah, I agree. Replacing a refused meal or part thereof is a big no-no.
Absolutely.
So rather than getting upset or angry if they reject the obvious veggies, why not put them on your own plate and pass a positive comment like, yum, I'm having these if you won't eat them. I want to make sure I'm really strong. If you have an older child, you could ask for their help and get them to eat anything your younger child is rejecting. Modeling is really powerful, and little kids seeing older kids eat that whole carrot or that whole zucchini is one of the most powerful things you can do actually to get them eating.
Yeah, absolutely. Leading by example, basically.
Totally.
So definitely consider hedging your bets if you're dealing with a picky eater by hiding and serving veggies on the first plate you serve. If they do eat some or all of the whole form, just take it in your stride. Don't make a big deal about it.
Yeah, this is really important. Just we never want to have emotions around food. So when they're doing it all the time, you could maybe note. So what doing it? I mean, when they're starting to eat all the veggies and the things you're serving, and they've been doing it for a while and it's no big deal, that's the time when you might notice it. And it's like, oh, I noticed you're eating all of your carrots now. I'm so happy you kept giving it a go, even when you weren't sure about it. So you're kind of validating them, but when it's really solid in them. And until that point, just feel satisfied that they've had a really great meal and you are building a fantastic food appreciation and a healthy future for them. You're supporting them to know what a carrot is, know what a zucchini is. Depending on your child and their personality, at some stage, I think it's really important that you do share what they're actually eating. So if you choose to reveal the hidden ingredients, make sure you're doing it to demonstrate that the veggies can taste great in the meal that they're eating, not to prove you have the one up on them. You don't want to create any mistrust with food or with you. So choose how you do this wisely. It needs to be presented in a really positive way. So I always make sure that my kids really enjoyed their dinner before I shared the hidden ingredients. And once they say how good it is, I might say, far out, can you believe there's Brussels sprouts in this? And it's really cool you enjoyed it. Maybe you'll start liking it other foods as well. And if you keep eating it, imagine how much stronger, faster, smarter, whatever appeals to them, it will make you.
Yeah, and even though you might be feeling a little bit smug, it's important that you don't share your nutritional win in a kind of, haha, I've tricked you away. I've definitely shared with parents before, perhaps if I have served one of my things is like a chocolate cupcake that's got some vegetables hidden in it, and I've shared that with the parent, and then they've turned around and said to their kid, you just ate beetroot, and the kid kind of looks at them as if to say, oh my God, Christ, what's going on? Did I? And then looks at me in a really like, oh my God, how did you make me do that kind of way? So I can see that distrust in their eyes and on their little faces. So just making sure that that you, like Jane said, that it is a positive relationship that you're building with each other and with the food that you're eating. So I think that's it on hiding food. Hopefully, I think we've covered all of the points. Do so to boost the nutritional value of the meal, but definitely you need to keep presenting obvious foods also, and also just keep chipping away at all of the other things that we've shared so far in the podcast and that we're going to continue to share in the podcast, because all of these little tips and strategies add up to your child developing a healthier relationship with food. There is no one quick fix. It's hard work. It's taking things day by day, step by step, and just making small incremental improvements with, not only what you serve and what your kids will eat, but just, like we said, that building that relationship with food.
Definitely.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you all.
See ya.